Our next speaker will actually be Professor Raza Rumi. Professor Rumi is a lecturer at CIPA and teaches several wonderful courses in international development and public policy. Professor Rumi worked as a governance and capacity development specialist for the Asian Development Bank, the government of Pakistan, and a number of Pakistani non-governmental organizations, as well as the United Nations mission in Kosovo. He has also been an academic advisor to the network of Asian Pacific schools and institutes, and we are so happy to have him here today. Professor Rumi.
Thank you very much. Graduates, members of faculty and friends here, it is a matter of great privilege that I've been asked to speak here again. My own journey through CIPA has been long and somewhat accidental, but for the past 7 years now, I have felt as if I've been back at school and I've enjoyed every moment of it. I'm grateful to Cornell and CIPA for this experience, as it has been one of the most rewarding phases of my life. A key pillar of Cornell's mission is to engage with the needs of modern societies as both a means of learning and a means of effecting relevant change. Nowhere is this better articulated than here at CIPA and now the forthcoming School of Public Policy. For apart from being a place of learning, it is also an academic space that engages with the world, celebrates diversity, and encourages dissent for social change inside and outside of the US. Human history is a testament to the truth of ideas shaping and altering societies. It is the power of ideas that is perhaps your greatest takeaway as you venture into the real, deeply flawed world. There is certainly a great need for public leaders like yourselves to advance public interests and make this world a better place, the place we all know it has the potential to be. A few years down the road, you will realize that the readings, classroom discussions, and problem solving taught here at CIPA are amongst your greatest assets. As you will look back, Ithaca and Cornell would no longer seem like bubbles, but will constitute a fountainhead where you found knowledge, networks, friends, and of course, ideas to steer ahead in life. I ask all of you to apply them with integrity, vision, and a large dose of courage. Nothing at all changes in the public sphere without passion and profound engagement with ideas and, of course, people. The world we live in today is marked by spectacular contradictions. We are likely to live longer, digitally communicate more often, and have greater access to information than ever before. Yet, we're also likely to be more alone. We are less likely to reach out and touch someone else, and we are not necessarily wiser for our wealth of knowledge. We also live on a planet where billions still live in abject poverty, and millions are uprooted, displaced, or threatened. And yet the most grotesque displays of consumption are also part of our everyday experiences. One cannot overlook climate change either, as if it were not handled by sound policy choices. This could be one thing that beats the bomb in ravaging the planet. Of all these challenges, the most immediate, regardless of where you end up living and working, is global inequality. It is shameful that the world's richest 8 to 10 billionaires possess the same wealth as the poorest 50% of human family. The richest quintile of humanity takes home about 70% of global income, compared with just 2% by the poorest fifth. This is the challenge of our times, and it must therefore be at the core of public policy at national, regional, and global levels. This is why CIPA values matter. Policies, institutions, and the way they work matter. Since all of you may elect to pursue careers focusing on public affairs, let me remind you that the equitable distribution of resources and social justice are central to progress and development, and this is non-negotiable. That remains one of the reasons we are witnessing the rise of fascist ideologies across the globe, just at a time when we all thought that fascism had been buried alongside the 20th century. The troubled discourse around minorities, Muslims, people of color, and the marginalized is alarming. We all have to do our bit in our personal lives, our professional engagements, and through our commitment to secure a better world, a better future. Dear graduates, wherever you end up, you will be a global citizen. Our common futures are dependent on how we tackle the environment, wealth inequality, and the notion that all of us are equal, regardless of our color, gender, sexual orientation, or nationality. This is what CIPA has enabled me to weave into my classroom work, the recurring pursuit for progress born of equality and justice. There are millions displaced in the world today, the greatest number since the end of World War II, yet the anger towards refugees is an affront to such values. In the past few years in the US, they have been traumatic. As an immigrant myself, I'm worried about the paranoia about migrants that threatens the very fabric of the multi-ethnic, multi-religious US of America. The ideals of inclusion and diversity are what have made America strong in the past. Many of you will end up working in the US, and if you are in the public affairs, these issues will confront you every day. There's a formidable legacy to build upon. The Civil Rights and Voting Rights Acts that liberated African Americans, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the expansion of national parks, HISTEM are but a few examples. These represent models for many developing countries too. But sadly, these are being challenged now. In this climate of uncertainty, your clarity of purpose will help. Every voice, every act of compassion will help. Why is the current state of play important for the world? For almost a century, the US has acted as a global leader. If somebody, a journalist, for example, is targeted in America, it provides a credible example for autocratic leaders in the South to emulate. If climate change is denied here, it is perfect opportunity for other denialist governments to throw the climate agenda out of the window. If Black teens continue to be killed on the streets here and the police are not reformed, authoritarian regimes the world over feel further empowered. Therefore, the quality of democracy, public policy choices, and justice in the United States and Europe matter for all the right reasons, as well as for the perverse reasons. I'm the last person to advocate the benevolence of the Euro-Atlantic hegemony. But in this world of instant communication, what happens here has a ripple effect that is felt worldwide. And all of that has been happening in the past few years. Some of them were mentioned by Professor earlier, is deeply worrying and needs to be resisted and understood, of course. But the most heartening of my experience here at CIPA has been to witness and occasionally participate in the civic movement standing against the societal ills. In Ithaca itself and at the US at large, the Black Lives Matter movement, refugees are welcome, and the effective advocacy by the American Civil Liberties Union have shown the way forward. Effective institutions, civil society, the media, and civic movements matter, and so do responsible public servants and public leaders. This is why you and I were at CIPA for all the right reasons. We have been fortunate enough to interact with new ideas, learn from a world-class faculty, and immerse ourselves into applied forms of knowledge. All having said that, my message to you is that ultimately it is love and human connection that make us happy. Engage with the world, but not at the cost of happiness. Happy humans make better humans. Love someone, cherish someone, and embrace someone. Live your life to the fullest and help others live theirs. CIPA is giving you the skill set to do that. On this important day, you embody hope. Congratulations and best of luck.